Hello. This has been a while, and the last video I did, I was a bit emotional. Being a parent myself, divorced from Florida, um, it just hit a little personal. It hit a little too close. Now, today, yeah, I know, rape. It's on everybody's mind. This whole thing with Bill Cosby, you know what? I don't know if I should believe the accusers or not, which is why I still say fMRI and polygraph. If it doesn't pass the smell test, leave it alone. The Fifth Amendment protects the accused, not the accuser. We have special women's laws to help them with that one. But I don't really want to talk about the Bill Cosby issue as far as rape goes. I want to talk about another rape. Save the Beef, Shia LaBeouf. Save the Beef. Anyways, wow, his parents must have hated him. He was apparently raped two years ago at a mangina event, titled hashtag # for any of us with half a brain. I am sorry. Apparently, this whole thing was some kind of get where he stands there with the bag over his head, and you get to scream at him and berate him and tear him down as much as you want. Almost specifically to help females with their self-esteem, to say he's sorry for being born with a Y chromosome. Yeah, he's apologizing for being born with the driving force of evolution. Yeah. Talk about a mangina. Anyways, this lady came in. Her boyfriend stood outside. She, according to Shia, she beat the shit out of him and then proceeded to rape him. She had then left the event and walked past a bunch of people. Apparently, some of the people that were in line were talking about it, had mentioned it, and she had left and was seen by a number of other patrons with disheveled hair and messed up makeup. I guess his girlfriend was in the line as well and decided to try and comfort him. And apparently this whole artistic thing was he couldn't talk. And to be true to his art, he didn't say a word. Yeah. So I'm going to say the same thing. If he wants to make this claim and bring to the forefront female on male rape, volunteer yourself to undergo an fMRI. Make it public. Because we have already had Pierce Morgan come out and publicly shame this man because he can't possibly have been raped because he is a man and she was a woman. So we've already had people coming out and trying to publicly shame you. Anyways, I'm trying to talk to him. Wow. But honestly, I would like to see him come out and voluntarily undergo an fMRI as a man to prove that this is a problem. And for someone with that big of a name, it would most definitely bring the issue to a head. However, on the other hand, if he's trying to pull this bullshit off to garner additional attention and just try to jump on the I was raped bandwagon, Also, then fMRI will go and prove that as well, and also prove the viability of the technology. And as a result of his big name, the technology is already working. Not too many people know about it nor care about it. But if you have a big name like that, oh yeah, you can bet your ass people are going to notice. This guy has already been publicly shamed because he's a man. If you were to have the balls to undergo some scrutiny to validate his claims, to where if nothing else, at least he believes he was, from at which point an investigation can begin. Once again, just his name, good or bad, it gets it out there and it pushes. Well, if you're going to lie about rape, we're going to push it. We're going to know. Either way, the Shia story could have been very good for us, regardless of how it turned out. But no, the next day we have Joan Collins come out. Then we have Terry Hatcher and Lady Gaga. We even had, what was it? This chick who wrote a book about her rape, Leah Dunham. Well, guess what? Surprise, surprise. She lied. Oh, who would have thought? A woman lying about rape. Oh, for attention, no less. We already know about the other story with the frat house. Interesting, though, how even though it's proven that she lied, the frat still can't operate. I find that interesting. But getting to where I want to go. See, this is what I want to cover. See, I covered some of my issues on the whole rape crap. And yes, it's an issue, a very fixable one. All these people claiming this can easily, voluntarily undergo an fMRI. It is no longer a giant machine. It's just a little skull cap now. Now, by doing that, we can definitely put a stop on these bullshit numbers over campus rape. So that way we can actually investigate, real cases and punish the pieces of shit that go and file these false accusations. Now, as far as pieces of shit, I like this story. Over half of women are more comfortable going nude than makeup free. 54% of women would rather be seen naked, but only if they're still wearing makeup. They'd rather anything as long as they can wear makeup. What does that tell you? Well, for me, it tells me that these people are so vain and self-conscious of themselves, and their ego is so fragile that they feel that they have to lie to the world for any level of acceptance. Women will go and scream and bitch and moan, especially the feminists, about how, well, men, you don't have to wear makeup to look pretty. When they like to go and say all that, they try and make it sound as though they would rather be without. And then we find out, like with this, that no, the opposite is true. They can't stand the thought of you seeing the real them. They almost are beginning to realize that they are so hideous in our eyes that they don't even want to think about what they look like to us without all the war paint. Never mind, as far as I'm concerned, I see a bunch of makeup and it turns my stomach. Because to me, that, like I said, it tells me that they're that fugly. Now, what this also means is that women will have no qualms about lying to everybody because makeup is a form of lying. That is not how you look. That is a way you want to present yourself, but that is not how you look. So in this story right here, we see almost the inherent female need to lie in order to gain acceptance. I'll be posting this in the description box. Now, I haven't done a video in a while, and I kind of have a list of things I want to cover. And now, back to women lying. When a woman lies, and there's an issue, a legal issue, the only sane thing to do, especially if it's true, is to tell the truth and deny it. Or try and clarify what actually happened. Provide video if possible. Anything that they can't argue about or use their pussy pass to weasel through the legal system. But we all know they'll find some other way. But I want to get back on this Bill Cosby thing. Not over the rape. No. This affects you. This affects me. This affects our sons. Because a statute of limitation on rape, well, there is one. This chick here is trying to go after Bill Cosby for an alleged rape that occurred. When he groped her, not raped her. When he groped her as they were drinking and doing drugs in the 70s. Apparently, the fact that she was doing the drugs herself, he was just there. Apparently, somehow now that means he gave them to her. Anyways, yes, this is me believing all of those wonderful stories. You go in and start showing me brain scans while you're under questioning, then I'll consider believing you and looking at the rest of the evidence. But until then, shut the fuck up. Anyways, this is why this woman gets me. As of now, if this goes to trial, you can now go and be sued by disagreeing with a woman. Yes, I shall read. One of the women accusing Bill Cosby of sexual harassment may have found a way around the statute of limitations. She is suing him for denying he ever touched her. So if a chick says you grabbed her and you say, no, I didn't, she can now sue you. Such a wonderful idea, huh? Okay. Tamara Green claims Cosby drugged her during a lunch date and then groped her at her apartment on some date in the early 70s. She's not more specific. Green has made this claim before, initially in 2005 on the Today Show, and then again to Newsweek and the Washington Post. But Green, a retired attorney, just filed a defamation lawsuit against Cosby in Massachusetts because she says repeated denials from Cosby's publicists have branded her a liar. So, if a woman accuses you of something and you say, no, I didn't, that means she is lying, right? It logic. But because you say she's lying, right, she can now sue you for defamation of character. Take note. No woman is safe. There is no such thing as a unicorn. A NOWALT, it doesn't exist. All right, plain and simple. They have now criminalized, in a sense, disagreeing with a woman and telling her she's wrong. She lied. That is it. Cross your fingers this doesn't go through. That is all I have to say on that. Cross your fingers this does not go through. Otherwise, the very act of disagreement is now punishable. And now, for a wonderful story about a freak narcissist, Ariana Grande. I'll be honest, I had no idea who the hell this chick was when I saw this story. Once I did, I found out she's a spoiled little princess cunt. And as such, the true narcissist, in my eyes, is the woman who does not believe the world is good enough for her, which apparently describes this female, or creature. Ariana Grande reportedly insists that her staff carries her around like a baby when she is just too tired to walk. Her new rule is that she is to be carried, like literally, like a baby, or toddler, I'm assuming, when she doesn't feel like walking, and when she says that she doesn't want her precious feet to hit the floor. Congratulations. You, Missy, have just won the Narcissistic Twat of the Award for the day. Knowing womankind will be another one to top you tomorrow. But as far as today goes, you win. And then there's some photos of some fucking pussy begging simp carrying the bitch. You know, she better be fucking paying him a lot of fucking money. Let's see. Vanessa Williams is now coming out against Bill Cosby. Like to see why that never occurred before. And now for another story that I'll be honest, I really kind of like some of these. Some of them just kind of speak to me. A while back, I asked a question of whether women actually hit the wall or if they get sucked down into quicksand. I got onto this as a result of some OkCupid data, in which females seem to start losing value after the age of 21. And at which point in time, I also have theorized that that as a result of males producing the most testosterone in their lifetime between the ages of 18 and 32, especially from the time about 25, which I personally find interesting. We produce more testosterone during this period of time than we do throughout our entire lives, which makes us more susceptible to visual stimulation, to put it lightly, or just a stiff breeze, or I don't know about you, but there were times where a math problem, for some reason, got my motor running. I don't get it. But anyways, apparently some of the theories that had been worked out and progression within the comment sections, we were definitely on the right track. Another study to add to the whole thing of women start losing their value on OkCupid dating sites after the age of 21. And that by the time they're 25, they realize that their value is declining. At which point in time they start putting more pressure than ever on the males around them, and to try and trick them into slavery. We started coming up with this theory and trying to work through it, and trying to work through like a psychological and a hormonal and social angles. And today we have this. Actually, it's a little bit ago. But new study says women reach their sexual peak earlier than men. See, I seem to remember when I was younger, always being told that women reach their sexual peak when at around 35. I always thought this was weird because around 35, you only have about 5 years left of childbearing years. After that, Down syndrome and other genetic issues start becoming more common. And keeping that in mind with the simple fact that up until the last 120 years or so, having children in your 40s and late 30s for the most part wasn't an option. If you hadn't had it done by the time you were 28, you weren't going to have kids. So I always thought that was a little weird. Now it appears that women actually reach their sexual peak by the age of 26. 26. Women reach their sexual peak at the age of 26. And for men, by the time we start being pressured at age 25 and up to our early to mid 30s, the women around us already know that they're past their prime, and they're doing whatever they can to trap you. They know that they are spoiled, as in rotting fruit or fish or ugh. You can't even. Anyways, their peak is in their 20s, which means any chick that is generally at over the age of 26 has effectively already fucked the fifth fleet, and it now realizes that she needs to find some virgin who doesn't understand or know that she is nothing but a blown out hallway. She needs to find some chump to go and lock down. Since they know that they've passed their sexual peak, this now fully explains that it is not strictly conscious or social It might be conscious, but I'm still gonna say that it's most likely to an extent subconscious as far as the drive, but their actions are most definitely conscious. But yeah, it seems we were right. Within MGTOW, we are accumulating a huge amount of knowledge based on observation. We are accumulating a huge amount of knowledge based on scientific literature. We're getting a huge amount of knowledge based on, sadly enough, internet surveys. But these add up. And what it is beginning to tell me is that now that women are realizing that, or we can now prove that women know and realize that they are effectively over the hill as far as their pussy pass goes. And from then on, they are worth less and less. They will do more and more to try and convince you that it's actually worth something. For women between 18 and 23, pussy stocks are at an all-time low. However, for the ages of 35 to 42, they're at an all-time high. What is going on here is you have these chicks going around in their younger years and jumping from one cock carousel to another until they have done a series of heavenly circles across the entire planet. For those who don't understand what that is, before understanding that we were going around the sun, everyone thought they were going around the earth. They had to figure out a way to go and compensate for the movement of the planets, which every now and then would go and move in one direction, and then it would go on loop and then keep going. They couldn't explain it, and it was miraculous to them. But once it became a heliocentric solar system, all the mysticism went away, but the stupid superstitions stayed around. I don't get it. But we are gaining the knowledge to understand that we can also, not only can we break down what they're doing through a number of chemical reactions and hormonal levels within the body, we're mapping out our entire brain, our entire neural structure, and we're coupling that with other observations in a social environment. We are actually coming up with the answers, and I can tell you right now, women, you're not going to like them. Something we have also learned is epigenetics. The ability to manipulate our own genetic codes by manipulating the surrounding environment. Oh yes, honey. It's coming. These genies are being let out of bottles left and right, and they're not going back in. I don't think they should. We now realize that women almost instinctively know that by the age of 26, their best years are past. And they will do anything to take their used up, heavenly circled, cock carousel twats and try to go and shine them up to make it look like they're worth something. For any of you younger people watching this, what they are trying to do, or not what they're trying, but what they are doing, is they are taking something that they have given out for free to every Tom, Dick, Carl, Larry, Kyle, Dwayne, you name it. And they've given that out for free But now that it's you, it is now worth your soul. I say soul, I can't say your money because it's more than that. It's your soul. Because once you are married, if you disagree, she'll make your life hell. If you disagree enough, she'll steal all your stuff and then continue to take your stuff for however many years she can. And if you're in New Jersey or in some other state that has lifetime alimony, dude, it's cheaper to kill her. I say that not because I want people to go around killing other people. I say that because that is the reality. And the reality should be so terrifying and frightening to most sane people that most sane people should step back and take another look at things. But do we see this? No. And as we have hypergamous behavior and people and chicks acting like cunts. And when I say people are figuring out it's cheaper to kill her, like this case right here in Morgantown, West Virginia. The guy went out, killed his ex. The guy she was cheating on him with, and then went and blew his own head off. He actually posted, "My actions were not right, nor were the actions of those who tried to tear me down and take from me." He apparently wrote a lengthy suicide note on Facebook, which they obviously had to censor because it showed his actions were the result of a psychotic break brought on by the actions of a woman. Oh, how dare we look for the root cause of anything. But not only that, but she was having her new little simp go and torment this guy through text messages and just harassing him. One of his other comments was, "I did not choose to have the love of my life go behind my back and sleep with several guys as she came home to lay her head on my shoulders to say, 'Good night, I love you.'" This is a man who figured out very painfully it's cheaper to kill her. And he did. And his so-called friend who was screwing her. Well, friends. This is what you guys just have to deal with. I mean, come on. As far as narcissism, plastic surgery, right? Plastic surgery has skyrocketed since the whole beginning of the age of the selfie. They are so vain, they don't even want their boyfriends or husbands to see them without makeup. They're so narcissistic that they have to take photos of themselves and post it up for the world to see, or hoping that the world will see. So much so that they will go under the knife for that extra bit of vanity. What we need to understand in this messed up Twilight Zone world that we live in is that no matter what you do as a man, you are wrong. even your work as a Nobel Prize winning chemist. This is out of Australia with all their wonderful, wonderful women helping social programs that they will not remove a single dollar from. They are, however, going and firing or laying off this man, Dr. San Thang. He is so committed to his work that, and I'm quoting here from the article, that he has continued his role unpaid. What makes this story even more poignant, at the same time that they won't pay him for research purposes or funding cuts. He's up for the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. He moved to Australia from Vietnam at the age of 24. He was welcomed at the time. It was a much more open country than it is now, as far as immigration is concerned. But this is a man what he's doing, his work is we can make layers or capsules to carry drugs or polymers that expand or contract under specific conditions. It gives molecular builders better materials. What you can do with this is you can then trap chemotherapy drugs in tiny little capsules in the bloodstream, little nanoparticles. Get them over to the area of a cancer and use ultrasound to go and break them open so that it only affects the cancer cells. This would be some of the work or some of the benefits coming from his work. But no, they're cutting. And they cut the sciences. I've said it before that when, mostly in comment sections, that when it comes time to cut, and it'll be NASA and the sciences that get cut. And here we see it already happening in Australia to a Nobel laureate. So wonderful, huh? And we have pregnancy discrimination. Oh. How dare a pregnant woman be expected to do her job? But yeah. I haven't done a video because originally when I came back from Thanksgiving, I wanted to do the Shia LaBeouf video. And then the next day he was overshadowed after being shamed by Joan Collins and all these others. And then with the whole Bill Cosby thing, just having my voice out there going and saying the same thing that many other MGTOWs are saying much more eloquently than I ever could. We are seeing the militarization of feminist doctrine. If you disagree, you should go to jail. You should be sued. You should lose whatever you have just by saying you're lying. This needs to end. I will be putting all of this into the description box. There are links to ways to get to these articles. And I just know this. With all the rape shit going on, if they want to be honest, if they want to prove this is real, they can. The technology is there. They just have to use it. If they refuse, fuck you. Prove it. I want to know that you actually believe that you were raped. And as far as women reaching their sexual peak at 26, wow. I'll be honest. That's just really, really funny because I know me as a man in my 30s. Oh, please. um, I am 17 years old with many years of experience. Man, I'll be honest, I still haven't even gotten to 18 yet. Yeah. I still had that issue. A stiff breeze. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it seems we were definitely on our track, and you know who you are, so who I'm talking to as far as that conversation goes. But yeah, we were definitely on the right track on some of those theories. Well, anyways, this has gone on way longer than I had intended. Since I didn't make it then, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I know. 3 weeks later, right? Oh man, and another 24 hours. But have a good day. Relax, and know that we are winning. In the article, the sexodus, men going their own way is mentioned. That is on the part 2. We are mentioned. They buried it in a paragraph. They really tried to bury the very concept of men going their own way. It is in there. Sadly enough, I personally believe it should have been at the forefront. But this is a global phenomenon. Congratulations. We're winning. And for the younger ones, you are the beautiful ones. And for that, well, that's just scary. Because that means total collapse is not far behind. If you want to have some clarification as to what I mean by that, sure. If you already know, congratulations. Well, have a good one.